Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio 101. In today's episode, we are going to be um, converting these oil refineries from oil refinery 1 recipe to oil refinery 2 recipe. And the reason that we want to do that, well, there's a couple reasons, actually. But right now, as you can see, our light oil storage is completely full. And what that's doing is that is making all of these stop because they have nowhere to push out their finished products. If you look at the factory, they need room for 3 more light oils, which they don't have. Which in the last episode I mentioned that the petroleum gas was out. That's actually why, is because of all that. Now, part of that is because before my heavy oil was completely full, but I did turn one of these factories into heavy oil to solid fuel, which helped alleviate that problem, but it kind of created this problem. So one way to deal with that is just to add extra tanks like I did down here, but the real way to deal with it is to convert these over to oil processing 2, which I'm going to do right now, actually. Okay. So that requires is that actually requires water and oil, and I'll be piping water over here in a second. But that produces 1 heavy oil, 4.5 light oil, and 5.5 petroleum oil, which is a lot closer to the ratio that you actually end up using, because you end up using a lot more petroleum oil than you do light and heavy oil. So let's go ahead and pipe that in. And we'll do that pretty much the same way that we did our export pipes. We'll just bring it out a couple spaces here. And I already have water being piped over here for my sulfur factory, so let's just kind of piggyback off of that. And let's see if I can get it lined up the first try. There. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, that was close. Oh well. Let's move that power pole, and we'll just make our own corner there. So now this is actually functioning, which is great. Let's go ahead and hook the other 2 up, like so, and like so, and that doesn't really use enough water to really justify having its own line for it, especially if you already have water in the area for the sulfuric acid and the sulfur and that stuff. So the next step in what you can do, and I kind of want to be careful about this because I'm using the light oil and the heavy oil for fuel, but you can do oil cracking, which hit the right button. Okay. Which basically what that does is, well, I will show you. Basically turns heavy oil into light oil, and you can also have it turn light oil into petroleum gas. So basically it's getting rid of the extra ingredients that you're not using and turning them into something that you are using. So let's go ahead and kind of hook this into our heavy oil. Probably reset that recipe. There we go. And power it up. Oh, that also needs water. I forgot about that. Let's orient it that way. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? Let's actually move it to right there. My cat says hello. All right, and we can pick up our oil from here. Hi, Zeke. We just wanted to say hi. But yeah, we can pick up our oil from here, and that's not going to work. I guess we'll just pipe it all the way down. And I'll hook up that water in a second. But first, I'm going to hook in our second cracking. Which actually, well, might end up doing it like this. Actually, why don't I move this one down here? No, that's not going to work. I can move it here. That might work. Definitely not the most efficient factory designer. But anyway, we can go into our light oil there. We can pull off of our heavy oil here, which should be okay. And all we need now is water, which we can pull off of here as well. Let's go ahead and pick this up. Bring that down like that. And something like that. And then to get to the petroleum gas, we'll actually pull up this outlet here. Just kind of do one of those deals. And of course that needs to be powered up. Like so. And that should be running as soon as I get some water over there. Which should be as easy as this. Alright, and so that one's running. Let's go ahead and get this one running as well. And there we go. And until you kind of figure out what your balance is going to be, you do have to kind of keep an eye on these, because especially if you are using the light and heavy oil for energy, because if you run out of light and heavy oil, that's really bad. I mean, that's really going to mess you up. So that's pretty much it. And you can add obviously more of these cracking stations to kind of help balance your ratio and all that good stuff. But yeah, these are the basics, is what I'm covering. And as you can see, as we use up the light oil and get that tank so that it's not full, these occasionally will fire as we kind of get there. Come on. Anytime. There we go. So these are firing occasionally, bringing new oil into the system. And as we do that more and more, that the ratio that they produce is going to help us out as well. Because we're going to be using more heavy oil and more light oil than we are petroleum gas, at least in the cracking situation. And this is going to be producing more petroleum gas and light oil than the heavy oil. So yeah, that's it. One other trick that you might want to consider, and I don't know, well, I don't have the ingredients for it right now, but if you put a water, or not a water, a small pump towards, let's say in this case, your lubricant factory, it'll make sure that it always has, if it has heavy oil available, it will always go there first rather than sharing it between there and your cracking station and potentially running you out of lubricant. And that's actually probably a good idea to do with like your energy making stations and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that pretty much covers oil processing 2. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will definitely get to them as soon as I can. And as always, take care of yourselves out there. Thanks for watching.